My heart is in.
Alright, what's going on YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Let's talk Triple G, Monroe Jr. Golovkin stops Monroe in the 6th round. Before I talk about the details of the fight itself, I want to talk about a few other things. I think this was all very calculated, okay, as far as this fight, the way it was promoted, the venue, the way that the fight turned out. Everything was very calculated, okay? It was the week after Canelo beats Kirkland, stops Kirkland. Canelo did it in great fashion, which was very, very predictable in my opinion. Knockout, great knockout fashion. You know, everyone's talking about Canelo, especially because it was right after the Floyd Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. The buzz in boxing is hype, is big right now. We're going into June where there's a lot of fights going on. Okay, I'm on social media. I'm checking Twitter. I follow a lot of people that don't even watch boxing like that, and they're all watching the fight. They're all tuned into the fight with Golovkin. They all was tuned into the Canelo fight. I think everything is very calculated right now with what's happening, including the fight itself. Triple G has a lot of charisma. It's really hard to dislike this guy. I know there's a lot of people that don't like him. Okay, a lot of people want him to fight Ward because they want him to lose. Okay, and that's the only reason. I mean, I like both of the fighters. I am a big Andre Ward fan, and I do want to see the fight because I want to see Golovkin really tested. And you know what? And it's not even Golovkin at this point because I want to see Ward tested as well. I think for Ward, Golovkin is a test for Ward. I think Golovkin might be the best opponent for Ward. You know, I think if you want to argue who's better between him and Froch, I know Golovkin's better than Froch right now, but I mean, as far as I think he's better than Froch. All right, I'm just gonna say straight up, I think Golovkin is better than Froch has ever been, in my opinion. But let me just say this. You know, I'm watching a fight, and Golovkin is having some success early. Okay, I did a prediction video. I thought Willie was going to do well. It didn't really happen exactly how I thought it was going to go. I thought Willie would survive a little bit more, a little longer. I knew Golovkin was going to win the fight, but I thought Willie would do a lot better with his ring generalship and his lateral movement and stuff. I thought he would do better, especially early. It was very clear that Golovkin could easily connect with that left hook. Very clear. I think in opening round, you can tell. Okay, that jab, I was saying that too. You know, fighting Brian Vera, guys like him, Vera's coming forward, but he's not really doing anything. All right, he didn't really pose a threat for Willie, so Willie was able to set traps and fight at his own pace. Okay, he was a ring general in that fight. You see in the second round, the knockdown, the first one, Willie was doing the same thing that he did against Vera. You know, he put himself in the corner. He's backing himself there. He's pumping the jab. He's waiting to set up a trap. He's waiting to land the left hook and time Golovkin. No, I'm saying not the left hook, the straight left. And Golovkin hits him hard with that left hook, drops him. Okay, that left hook was hard, and the camera was right there if you're watching it on TV. And this is what I meant by experience, okay? Because Willie hasn't fought anywhere near this level. You know, you go from fighting Brian Vera, you skip all these other very good fighters in a division, and you go straight to Golovkin. And Willie has the athleticism. He has talent, but he doesn't have the experience, okay? And Golovkin has been in the ring with these type of guys over and over again. You put yourself in the corner, Golovkin is going to beat you. He's going to beat you. You know? You set yourself there. I understand you're trying to set a trap up, but it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And Willie had to learn, you know? Now, when I go back to me saying that everything was pretty calculated, the second round, you know, Golovkin was trying to finish the fight. The third round too, Golovkin was very, very aggressive. Okay, he was getting hit a lot. He was getting hit a lot, and he was trying to get Willie out of there. Willie survived. Willie did pretty good in the third round. He actually hit Golovkin a lot more in the third round than he did compared to the first and second round. He didn't win the round, but he did pretty good. He goes into the fourth round. Now Golovkin slows down a bit. All right, the pacing changes. Willie didn't really do good on the outside like we thought he was. All right, I thought his lateral movement was going to be what was going to give Golovkin a lot of difficulty, even though Golovkin is great at cutting off the ring, which he did well. Okay, in the fourth round, Willie started to stay in the pocket with Golovkin a little more, and I really believe that it was calculated. I think people were watching, they were entertained, they were saying, "Oh, Golovkin's getting hit too much." How do you go from setting up and Golovkin's punch selection and his defense was on point. You know, even while cutting off the ring with Willie, he was outboxing Willie early in the fight. How do you go from fighting that way, a technical fight, a smart pressure fight, to go into just staying in the pocket with Willie and not using any defense? Willie was landing with every punch he threw, and Golovkin was just basically blocking with his head. Because Golovkin knew where he was. He knew what kind of fans was in the crowd, okay? And he wanted to put on a show. He wanted to put on a show, okay? People like this kind of fighting. And he wants to prove, I really believe Golovkin wants to prove to people that he can beat people in whatever style. You know, you want to stay in the pocket with me? I could beat you in the pocket. You know, you want to use lateral movement and you're going to use your legs and be a mover, I'm going to catch you. I'm going to break you down. I'm going to trap you. But he wants to prove this fight, that fourth and fifth round that we saw was what the Rubio fight was supposed to be. They were promoting it as this Mexican style. Golovkin enjoys to fight that way. He can fight a technical fight, but he can fight this way as well. And this is why I'm saying it was all calculated, because the fans are loving it. The people are loving it. Everyone is talking, Golovkin getting hit too much. Golovkin, and you say in the post-fight video, he said it. And I knew it. It's pretty cut, clear, obvious. He doesn't need to stand there and get punched in the face. He knows how to be. He has defense. You know, I don't think he's a Floyd Mayweather when it comes to defense. I don't think, I'm not saying that. He's no Willie Pep or anything, but the guy has some solid defense when he chooses to fight that way. He knows when to turn it up and to entertain the fans. And for the fourth round, I felt that's what he did. He stayed in the pocket with this guy. Monroe did well. Monroe did much better staying in the pocket than he did on the outside. But I feel like if Golovkin really wanted to get him out of here, he would have. Okay, because we all know that Golovkin is a great body puncher. And he wasn't doing that. He was standing there. He wasn't throwing that many punches. And he's waving to Monroe. And while he's getting punched in the face, he's telling them, come on, keep bringing it. He wants to entertain these people. He's trying to be a fan favorite fighter. That's what he's doing. Look at his post-fight video. The people love this guy. And I think it's all calculated. The fifth round was a little bit more the same thing. Golovkin won the fight more. Willie really gave all he got that third, fourth, and fifth rounds. After he got knocked down twice in the second round, Willie gave it his all in those fourth and fifth rounds. I think the fifth round, even the way it ended, you can tell Willie was just giving it all that he had. He wasn't the original game plan of using his lateral movement and his speed, that was thrown out of the window after the second round. Setting up traps and hitting them with pop shots, all of that, he threw that out of the window. And this is what I said in the prediction video. I said Willie can fight this way. Willie can actually fight. That's why I didn't like what these journalists were saying after the Brian Vera fight. They were saying Willie was running. No, Willie was not running. Willie was getting the better of the exchanges with Brian Vera. But that's Vera. This is not Vera. This is Golovkin. And Golovkin fought a few of those rounds like the way people wanted him to fight against Rubio. But Rubio just didn't bring the action. Willie Monroe did better fighting that quote unquote Mexican style of fighting. So we go into the 6th round and it's over. Willie, like I said, I think Willie gave his all in the 6th round, and Golovkin went for the kill right away. I think Golovkin knows and picks and chooses what he wants, and he said it in a post-fight video. I let this guy come back. And it was obvious. He didn't even have to say that. He could have been humble about it and just not said anything. But I thought it was obvious. There's people that's watching it and like, oh, Golovkin's get hit too much. Oh, he got too many flaws. You reading too much in a fight. Like, it's not that. It's pretty cut clear that Golovkin could have really taken this guy out. I know I said that I thought Willie was going to survive a lot longer. And you know what? He gave Golovkin a great fight. I thought he gave him some good rounds and some good work. But if Golovkin really wanted to stop this guy early, it would have happened. It would have happened. I mean, he tried to get him out of there in the 2nd round. It didn't happen. Okay, Willie did great. I think he slightly punched himself out. I think Golovkin was a little fatigued, but at the same time, I thought that Golovkin could have continue fighting a smart, intelligent pressure fight. Instead, he waved Willie on and he let Willie punch him in the face. He didn't respect Willie's power, and that's that. So let's moving on. What's next for Golovkin? Let's stop talking about Mayweather. I did a video on it. Let's stop talking about it because I really don't think it's a realistic fight. Let's move past that. People that want to see, I really believe that people want to see that fight, especially at Golovkin's weight. Really just wants Floyd to lose. But let's move on from that. All right, let's talk Canelo. All right, Canelo fight. People want to see it now. People wanted to see it last week when Canelo knocked out Kirkland. That's why they put Kirkland in front of Canelo, because they wanted people to see a knockout from Canelo. Be reminded how hard Canelo really punches, and that's what we got. We got a devastating knockout. And, people want to see the fight now. Canelo can't make 154. He's fought at 155 for the last 3 fights. I don't think he could comfortably make the weight anymore. I seen his comments. He's made some comments. I seen a couple articles on Boxing News 24 saying that Canelo really wasn't impressed and he think he could do well at 160. Well, then move up. But he doesn't want to do it because he knows he loses the size advantage if he moves up, the size and power advantage that he has down at 154. You go to 160, you're a regular size guy. You're not really bigger than nobody at 160. He does have skills, but as far as him being the bigger puncher in a lot of these fights, he wouldn't really be the bigger puncher at 160. So he loses that advantage. Do I want to see the fight? Yes and no. I do want to see the fight. It would be a good fight. But I think if Triple G beats Canelo, which I really believe that he would beat Canelo, I don't think I think it would be, Golovkin would be favored to win the fight. And I think after the fight, people were like, oh, yeah, we knew he was going to beat Canelo, go up the Ward. All the Ward people, and I do want to see the fight. But there's people, I don't have no agenda for Triple G to lose the fight. I just want to see the fight because I think it would be a good fight, And I think Triple G would fight at a different level if he fought like a Ward. Just like how Kovalev fought Hopkins. We seen Kovalev fight a different fight against Hopkins than he did against John Pascal, or whoever else, where Kovalev was just getting hit. He's making it an action fight where he fought a very intelligent fight with Hopkins. And I think Triple G's the same way. Depending on who he's facing, he knows when to turn it up. And I've said that countless times on this channel. Some of these guys, they know when to turn it up. They pick and choose how they want to fight when they fight in certain specific fighters. All right, so the Canelo fight is cool, but I really want to see Canelo and Cotto fight. I think that fight is the only reason why Cotto should fight Triple G is because he is the lineal champ, and he should fight Triple G because Triple G deserves to get a shot at that title. But as far as fights and it being really good competitive fights, the Cotto-Canelo fights make sense. The rivalry between the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, that would be good. They're still around there's no huge major size advantage. I think Cotto still is a more talented, more skilled boxer between the two overall, but not by much. But Canelo has that power advantage, and I think Canelo has more of a shot at hurting Cotto than Cotto hurting him. Um, as far as everybody else in 160, I already told you. I think Golovkin will knock anyone at 160 straight out. There's nobody at 160. I wanted him to see him fight a mover. We seen that in this fight, and didn't have much success. I mean, whether it was Indom or whoever other great movers that's at the division, I think what's his name, Golovkin will knock any of them out at this point. All right, so I don't know what's next for Golovkin. Hopefully he fights Andy Lee, gets another title, or try to pick up another title. I think he was saying Lemieux and Indom, the winner of that fight. These guys are fighting in June. So I guess him fighting the winner of that fight is pretty cool too. I know people want to see the Lemieux fight because Lemieux had power, but he's not nearly as durable as Golovkin. Lemieux get knocked out quick. 2-3 rounds, he'd get knocked out. All these guys will get knocked out straight like that. All these guys. I think Golovkin, you want to see him get challenged, he got to move up. He got to move up. That's the only way we're going to see a competitive Golovkin fight, is if he move up in weight. That's the only way. He could beat anybody at 160 down. All right, so that's my thoughts, man. Make sure you guys hit subscribe.